This wasn't random.
Let's try something strange. Think about the last time you met someone new. It was a coworker, or maybe someone at a party, maybe someone you started talking to online, and at first, everything seemed fine. They were friendly. They smiled. The conversation flowed normally. But then something small happened and appeared the moment when part of you thought, something about this person feels wrong. Now here's the disturbing part. Your brain probably made that judgment in less than 1 second, before logic, analysis, and before you even knew what exactly you were reacting to. And most of the time, you ignore it. What if your brain had just detected signals your conscious mind hadn't even noticed yet? The strange feeling. You might describe this experience in a very specific way. Something felt off. But when asked what exactly was wrong, you struggle to answer, and that confusion creates doubt. You start thinking that you imagined it, that you're overthinking, so the moment passes. What you don't realize is that the brain rarely produces that feeling without a reason, even when the reason is almost invisible. The signals nobody talks about. Human communication is not built around words. Words are actually one of the slowest parts of social interaction. What your brain is really reading are micro-behaviors like a smile that appears slightly too late, or a compliment that feels strangely precise. Signals so small, they rarely reach conscious awareness. Individually, none of these signals mean very much, but the brain doesn't evaluate them individually. It evaluates patterns, and when a pattern begins forming, the nervous system reacts, but not with a clear idea. With a feeling. The brain's silent calculation. The brain is constantly predicting what people will do next, and every interaction becomes a small prediction test. When someone behaves in ways that match the brain's expectations, the system relaxes, but when signals stop aligning, the brain switches modes. It begins scanning. And you may not even realize that this shift has happened. Why the reaction feels irrational. The difficulty is that this process happens extremely fast because the brain detects irregularities long before conscious thought can explain them, which creates a strange gap. Your body reacts first, your mind arrives later. When the mind finally looks at the situation, it sees a problem. And because from the outside everything still looks normal, the mind tries to correct the reaction by making you think that you're paranoid, that you misunderstood something. But the instinct was never designed to wait for a proof. It was designed to notice patterns early. The attention trap. When social signals become inconsistent, the brain does something interesting. It increases attention. You begin analyzing the person more carefully. Replay parts of the conversation. Try to understand what they meant. And this increased attention can feel like fascination. But fascination is not always attraction. Sometimes it is surveillance. Your brain trying to understand a pattern that doesn't settle. Why some people feel mentally loud. You may have noticed something else. Some people feel calm to be around, while others feel strangely intense, and that is just mentally loud. You find yourself thinking about what they said long after the conversation ends. This happens because your brain hasn't classified them as predictable yet, and the human brain dislikes unresolved prediction, so it keeps studying the interaction and start looking for stability. The misunderstood role of intuition. People often treat intuition as something mystical, but intuition is usually just compressed pattern recognition. Your brain processing thousands of small signals simultaneously, signals that are too complex to translate instantly into words. Instead of producing an explanation, the system produces a sensation, like a tightening in your chest, a sudden alertness, or even a quiet hesitation. Not a conclusion, but just a signal. Pay attention. The moment most people ignore. The most important part of instinct is not that it always predicts danger. It doesn't. Because people are complicated, signals can be misread, but persistent discomfort almost always has a source. Something in the interaction changed the balance of the situation when the person was subtly controlling the emotional tone, or when they were creating obligation through sympathy. Whatever the reason, your brain detected it, even if your mind wasn't ready to understand it yet. The real question. The next time that strange feeling appears, most people will ask the same question. What is wrong with me? Why am I reacting like this? But there may be a better question. What did my brain just notice that I haven't understood yet? Your mind hasn't caught up yet, but your brain already knows something has changed.
I'm Oliver, and now you know why this happens. Or at least a part of it.